Dagger 99, all in with heading for clearance. 80, 4-1, clear hot, clear hot. Coyote 4-2, cleared hot, cleared hot. Copy, 2 away, 45 seconds. Coyote 4-2, Dagger 99, copy, 2 away, 20 seconds. Copy, splash.
Charlie 5-1, this is Charlie 0-1. Execute, execute, execute.
Over. This is Charlie 03, half force inbound, pre-assault fires commencing shortly. Charlie 03, Dragon 3, acknowledge,
one copy.
and pre-assault fires, over.
06 DOT.
Fort Bragg, Dragon 3, we are 1 minute till pre-assault fires, over.
Charlie 01, copy. They told the edge.
Dragon 3, Charlie 03, pre-assault fires complete, assault force inbound. Dragon 3,
Charlie 01.
Wow, this is a mission, a
Charlie
live
01 to
mission.
Charlie 02. Go for 01. Roger, reach all target buildings. Break. Return to contact interior building 101 and 102. How copy? Charlie 01 copies. Green breach all target buildings. Return contact interior 101, 102.
Dragon 3, Charlie 03, green breach, building 101, 102, 103, over.
Charlie 01 copies all. Charlie 01, Charlie 02. Go for 01. Building 103, secure. Stand by for plant. Plant 0003, how copy? Charlie 01 copies. Building 103, clear and secure. Plant 0003. Charlie 01 to Charlie 02. Go for 01. Building 101, clear and secure at this time. Stand by for plant. Break. Plant 0003, how copy? Charlie 01 copies. Building 101, clear and secure. Plant 0003. This is 0. Copy all. Monitor and advise if they go dynamic. Charlie 01, Charlie 02. Go for 01. Roger, building 102, clear and secure at this time. Plant 0003. Break. At this time, objective insecure. We're preparing for post-assault activity. How copy? Charlie 01 copies. All target buildings secure. Total plant 009. Assault force moving for post-assault activities. Over. Next call, next call.
3, Charlie
1 cell
0,
exterior, building 101. Charlie 01 copies. Eagles external 101.
Well, I guess this is an example of how they carry out a live mission. Why would I not support the celebration? I'm not into treason against the USA. There are people
Net call, net call.
who do not
Enemy
support
reinforcements
honoring
approaching.
the
500 meters
250
northeast.
Army's
Gas
anniversary
conduct air to ground.
parade.
Over. 03 copies all.
Like the Democrats, they don't want the parade. I want the parade. Show our strength, show our forces. Let the world know.
01 to Charlie 02. Go for 01. Roger, we begun functional feed of the tail. Burning 1 minute. Copy, burning 1 minute.
This is viewing U.S. military demonstration. Helicopter went down.
Call that call, sniper position. Moving to building 101, time down. Charlie 01, copy. Charlie 01, Charlie 02. Go for 01. Roger, burning. Scud has been neutralized. Preparing assault force for exfil, time now. Charlie 51, this is Charlie 01. Copy, threat neutralized. Charlie 02, this is Charlie 01. Copy. Scud has been neutralized, prepping for exfil. Charlie 02, this is Charlie 01. Go for 02. Air-to-ground engagement complete. Enemy reinforcements destroyed. How copy, over? Charlie 02, copy. Break.
Travel 27, Bravo 41, pushing for BP Bella to the overhead. 2 minutes.
Charlie 01, this is Charlie 02.
Travel 27, Bravo 41, checking in. That's Bragg.
Go for 01.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Waiting for slip. Over.
Charlie 01, copies. Assault force postured for exfil. Over. 02.
Charlie 03, Dragon
That's
3.
right, Frank.
Acknowledge. Objective secure. Bravo 27, Bravo 41. In south to northwest. Full visual pressing counter target. All American 3, Dragon 3. Execute airborne operation, over. Dragon 3 is All American 3. Acknowledge. Break. Q-33, All American 3. Execute airborne assault, over. All American 3, 233, acknowledge. On the target aircraft. 227, now go. Holland, DZ, this is Gecko 01. Need winds and clear to drop. Gecko 01, this is Holland, DZSO. Wind 6 knots from the 230. I repeat, 6 knots from the 230. Clear to drop.
The parade is going to be the 14th. June the 14th is the parade. And I'm looking forward to it. We will be broadcasting it.
Task Force Bragg, Dragon 3. Time on target, first bundle, 4 mics. Over.
Yeah, I'm going to show it. Probably February the 14th will probably come on at 3 o'clock for the parade. So right now they're showing a demonstration to Trump.
You didn't tell me.
Yeah, we're on. They're doing a army demonstration for Trump.
This is Holland, DZSO. Wind 6 knots out of the 230. I repeat, 6 knots out of the 230. Clear to drop.
Yeah, 3 p.m. Eastern will be on the 14th. So they're doing this for Trump so he can view it. And I guess for all of us, we're able to view their drills. U.S. Army recruiting goals, hitting goals for 4 months early under Trump. People are signing up since he's been back in office. Right now, they're doing a demonstration from Trump. I don't think they supposed to stand right now while the demonstration is going on. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. Show your support. I wonder so they have a
Holland DZ, this is Gecko 01, 8 bundles away.
and this is at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Okay, I can imagine the music is starting. Trump is soon to enter the stage. But I'm looking so forward to the parade. I've never seen us actually have a military parade. So that's going to be really, really something to behold, celebrating our Army's 250-year birthday. And I can imagine it's going to really be really spectacular, something to behold. It's not an indicator that there's a recession. If that was the case, they would have been actually it would have been happening during Biden because inflation and economy, he and his comrades destroyed the United States of America. And this is the aftermath, but people believe in the commander in chief and they respect who's in charge versus the former administration. So the demonstration is going on. I had imagined that he would have been speaking by now, so I did not expect this. But it's like, under this administration, you get to actually participate in viewing what normally we haven't been privy to all this time. That we get to see, like the military demonstrations, have a military parade. So I'm looking forward to it. And they tell about reckless spend money. You are not American. You're not American. You're not American. All the wasteful spending that has been done in this country by the Democrats. We give $40 million, a cash payment to the Taliban per week under Biden's administration. Do you consider that wasteful spending? Cash, money, $40 million cash payment to the Taliban, a terrorist group that been going on since 2021. And cash is untraceable, but something like this is wasteful spending, but we're paying terrorists, right? We have 14 to 20 million homeless people that burden's been put on this country. That's wasteful spending because they're not supposed to even be here. We already have $36 trillion worth of debt. But I think we need to honor our military, which they rarely get any acknowledgement. We have people that are burning the American flag and spitting on it, while we have these soldiers that have been fighting for this country and have been, have lost their lives, lost limbs, have mental illness, living on the streets. And as soon as we say spend some money to honor them, that's wasteful spending. Wasteful spending. But it's not wasteful spending to give illegal immigrants a $13,000 SNAP benefits and free luxury apartments and education and health care and Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, all these things that we have bestowed on them that we have not bestowed on American citizens. And you're talking about wasteful spending, honoring for the first time in 250 years. I gotta calm down. Our men that have been fighting for this country, keeping us safe, giving their lives. We could go down a list of wasteful spending. So you're not going to be on this stream and disrespect our soldiers that fight for this country. And when it comes to them, then you have the Democrats or the left or people who are not even citizens are going to talk about wasteful spending. But it's not wasteful spending the way they dug this country into debt like they have. But no one said anything about having an absent president, a president that was not doing his job, a president that wasn't available, a president that was unfit, a president that was suffering from dementia, a president that had to talk with a script or a teleprompter, a president that had to have pre-selected questions by pre-selected reporters that did a disservice to this country. They never put their feet under fire. And while they allowed 2 wars to happen, they allowed horrific inflation, horrible economy, men and women sports, same-sex marriages, and the list goes on. Abortion was their theme to run on. Abortion. They couldn't even run on economy. And they offer us nothing. They're doing nothing to bring money into this country. They're doing nothing to make it better for Americans. 4 years of us drowning under unfit leadership. Trump has done more in 4 years than last several presidents. 4 months than the last several presidents. And that's a fact. The businesses, the money that's coming in, and the first thing that Democrats, they don't have any talking points. Anything, that's wasteful spending. Not when it comes to our military. This is something that we should be doing, period. We don't say anything about sending $350 billion to fight a war for another country. We haven't had any problem getting Ukraine, Gaza, Iran, or all these other countries aid and monies. No problems with that. We're going to honor our soldiers, whether you like it or not. And they deserve it. And I cannot believe, whether you're an independent, Republican, or Democrat, that you have a problem with it. They have a problem with it. You have a problem with it. We should honor our military. We're not going to deflect with nonsense. We're not going to change. This is about honoring our men and women that are serving this country. That's what this is about. If we can give to everyone around the world and take care of everyone else, but we cannot, after 250 years honor our soldiers, then you are in the wrong country, period. All Americans should feel like this. We have people in Los Angeles right now that are not citizens of this country, that have no respect for our country, that haven't fought for this country. They've been here a hot 3 or 4 years, and they've been privileged, and they're running around like someone has done something to them. And it is unbelievable. Everything's been given to them, and they're burning the American flag and spitting on it while they're running around with their flags of their country of origin, where they need to go back to. They need to go back to it, to their countries. They're not going to come here and try to overrun our government, disrespect our country, disrespect our president, spit and burn on our flag, tear our cities, destroy property, and act up. They don't have a reason to act up the way that they've been acting up. Like they have some right. They don't have the same rights as Americans.
Endorse it, DEI, deport every illegal.
You know, and then they have the audacity, don't want to show respect to those in authority over them. Don't want to show any respect to the country that's been feeding them and taking care of them. Indoors here, he said, "Go, Elijah." You could weed out. You could tell the people who are Americans and who aren't by their comments. That's how you know whether they're from this country or not. You know, the least we could do, you go over and fight in these wars. You sacrifice your life for this country. You know, the people that have something to say, they don't have any fight in the game. They're not. And then the very least we could do is support our soldiers, our military. That's a big difference. You know, and that's the sad part about it, that Biden opened up the borders. Like the things that we're experiencing shouldn't even be going on in the first place. What we're being as a nation, what we're subjected to because of the poor leadership, because of these people. Oh, thank you for subscribing. Because these people wanted to open up borders for votes. It's not even about the people. It's always about power and money. It's not about the people. It's about votes. They wanted another voting block so that they could retain power. It's not about the people. That's why they will allow all these people to come in that haven't been vetted, which means we have, like Trump said, they empty out their prisons, and that's a fact, and won't take them back. Empty out their prisons into our country, that they are supposed to be locked up, and they're running around this country, all 2 million gotaways. 2 million gotaways, 15,000 plus convicted rapists, 13,000 convicted murderers, 350 terrorists. We got fentanyl, we got cartel, all this coming into this country. We got 350,000 missing children that's been coming into this country because of the open borders that now the media doesn't talk about, now that Trump has closed the borders nearly completely. But that's not newsworthy to say the things he has done. Inflation has gone down. Eggs have gone down. The tariff seems to be working. The economy is getting better. Money is coming into this country. I mean, his first week in office, he already had made a $500 billion deal with Apple. And then it was, Hyundai from Taiwan. How many? That was like 22 billion. And then he had 500 billion come from Libya. Then he had Saudi Arabia. They're going to be doing work here in this country, $1 trillion worth of investments coming in here. He shut down China and Mexico. What they was trying to take away the automobile business that would normally go to our manufacturers in Detroit, Michigan, revising it. What about the steel workers revising the steel? That's why the unions voted for him in Pennsylvania. They didn't think Pennsylvania, if you don't know, that is a freaking union state. The unions, the AFL-CIO, that is a union state. And when you got unions backing them up, Biden has always won that because he's supposed to, supported the unions. He's even came to, he goes to different states. He support the unions. That's why they were voting for him. But to see, the Democratic Party is not the People's Party. It's not about the American people, the constituents that put them in office. They don't even talk about Americans at all. Their news conferences is always about bad Trump, bad Trump. Everything he does is not bad Trump. Nobody is perfect. 4 months. But all this backlash, all the complaints, nobody said one word when all of this stuff been going on for 4 years. Now, no hands out parades, hands off parades, no hands off. And they were the ones, Democrats are the ones doing it, and they got these fools out there like Trump was the president for the last 4 years. Insanity is on another level. Gaslighting is at its best in this country, and people are stuck in bubble land and in alternate universe that they don't understand. The people that's doing the most talking about it are the ones that's been implementing all of this hardship that America has been going through. But they blame someone that wasn't even in office. It's so funny. And when he was, it were no wars, great economy, no inflation, all none of the higher employment rates, even for black people. So it's like it's night and day compared. That's why they couldn't run on their record. No wars. And now look at us. And they won a World War III. They would have most definitely had us. If Kamala had won, we would be in World War III. Because there's money in war and they want to retain power. And the way you don't have any elections is if a war is going on. So they most definitely wanted to retain power. And they tried to poke the bear with Putin, but he didn't fall for the okie doke. He knew what they were doing. So they still trying to poke the bear now. And, and that's why he even retaliated. You can't say, well, let's go have peace talks and you go into the country like that prior to it. It's not going to be any peace talks. So Trump is doing right. Let them fight it out. If you don't respect my channel, you can just leave. I don't have to do whatever you do, because I'm covered by the blood of Jesus. Talking about mass report. You don't even have to be on here. See, I know that the truth hurts and people don't like to hear the truth, but this is my opinion. This is called America. We have freedom of speech. This is not the news media. You're misinformation. You're the misinformation. I'm American. I live in this country. I know what's been going on. I'm a legislative director. I know this is what I do. I'm the person go out there and campaign, do rallies, advocate for people's rights, hold rallies. I do it all. I speak at conferences or ask different candidates to come and ask me, if the people I represent, we're going to endorse people in upcoming elections. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about from experience, what I have personally experienced. So you don't have the power to have anything. And I could just get rid of you, but I want you to be able to hear the truth, because obviously you like this channel. You wouldn't be on here. Yeah, see, other people in other countries, they can't speak their own truth. They can't have an opinion. And but we can hear. We can hear. You know, wouldn't be on here if you weren't interested in what was being said. And if on here, it's called Speak the Truth 2.0 for a reason. And we don't waver from that for any subscribers or for likes or for whatever the case may be. We're going to stay on point, period. Jesus is Lord and Christ is King. And this is not about trying to convince someone. You can believe you can believe in whatever you want to believe in. That's your right. Nobody's on here trying to convince people otherwise. If you lived in this country and you experienced the last 4 years, then you know what's been going on. The only people that would be in disagreement about anything are the people that would be most affected, and that's the illegal immigrants, because they're illegally here. They were allowed to come into, break the law coming into this country, and now we have a new president that's going to make sure that they follow the law. They're not going to come into our country and overrun it, tell us what to do, attack our police officers, ICE, and our military men and women, and take over our country like they have a right to. They don't. When you are a visitor, then you need to act like one. If you want, none of them are trying to become citizens. How many have applied for their citizenship? You should be on your best behavior so that American people support you. That stuff that's going on in Los Angeles, and the governor and active governor and mayor that allowed this mess to go on. That's not America. That's not the kind of stuff that we have going on in our country. I could see, like, if they were Americans and like they try to compare it to Black Lives Matter. Oh, we're going to make sure that things are kept in order. That's no comparison to Black Lives Matter. You have 400 years that Black people have gone through slavery, lynchings, injustices. And when George Floyd, now that you have social media and the world was able to see this man literally murdered with a cop with his knee on his neck, and his crime was being accused of having a counterfeit $20 bill. Nobody even looks at $20 bills, which they never proved that he even had. He was like, life was taken. We have judiciary system that people are supposed to go to court and let a judge decide, not to take someone's life. But Black people snapped. But that was 400 years it took us to snap. And you have these people that have been here 4 years or less, and they're tearing it up, burning stuff down, destroying property, attacking officers. I mean, and they have been treated with America rolled out the red carpet for them. They gave them luxury apartments, SNAP benefits like $13,000. What was a month or a year? They gave them ATM cards, education, health care, Medicaid. They on our Social Security, stuff that they have not paid into. And they have the audacity to think that we owe them more, that they can act up and like this is what we're gonna do. We're going to take over. Yeah, they were in 5-star hotels. New York was giving them so much. I mean, our military never received that. Wow, they stepped and walked over the military and our homeless people. We spent, what, $507 or $570 million on them? 507, what, last year or whatever? And y'all talking about a freaking parade? Yeah, we'll never allow that. I mean, times are different. And I thank God that that this is like everyone has opportunity, but we don't need to see things like that happen. We don't need to have road cops. Like, all cops are not bad. They're not. But it's the bad ones that are able to be in these positions and they take advantage of it, and they do take people's lives needlessly. Unarmed people, people who aren't even criminals. But that was a reason to, after 400 years, for it took us 400 years. It took these people a matter of being here less than 4 years, and they run around with their country flags, spitting on our flags, burning the flags, destroying property, and they were able to attack cops without being arrested. I mean, cops were hit with big old rocks. Not, I don't even call them rocks. They were so large. They destroyed their cars, their vehicles. The cops were running from them. It was all out of order. And then Gavin Newsom, he's sitting there doing nothing, just like he did with the wildfires, and talking about they didn't need the National Guards. Oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. It's like they don't have any sense. And then they have the audacity to want to sue Trump for sending the National Guards to put law and order, restore law and order. I mean, come on now. The restored law and order. And then the people that they felt like they should protect were criminals. When ICE went in, they're going in for people who have committed crimes. They already know the crimes. They already know the individuals. They went in there to get the freaking criminals, the murderers, the rapists, the child molesters, the robbers. Those were the people that these people were fighting for to be released back into society, right? Those are people that they're going off, not going off for them. And guess what? In the crossfires, they're going to get some other people that weren't on their list, because these Democrat states and these sanctuary cities, they won't allow ICE to go into the prisons and take them out that way. So they have to go into the community to clean the streets up. You don't have the power to do anything, but you must be a legal immigrant. It's okay. You need to apply for your citizenship. You don't have the power to do anything. You don't know that I'm covered by the blood of Jesus. And when you have people like you, you're not going to, you could call it what you want to, but it's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. And you don't like it. You don't like it. Tell me what you going to do. You can't do anything at all. You can't even become a citizen. So we have a lot that's been going on in the country that we're not accustomed to. But I'm glad that Trump is the president. I'm glad that we have a true leader, unlike the previous administration. And we need his type of leadership, because they would be running us over. And the example was what was happening in Los Angeles, and what's been happening in New York. It's like Gotham City without Batman. So we need law and order, and we need people to follow the law and stop interfering with the people that are supposed to keep the law. Stop. That's what they need to stop doing. We don't do that here. You allow them to do their jobs, period. You're not supposed to be attacking ICE and attacking cops and pushing up on them and pushing and trying to have your way. And this is not even your country. How crazy is that? And the destruction, and if they had to pay for it, they need to make it so that everyone that was out there, and they're going to find out who the people were doing all the destruction, they need to make them pay for it, and they should be deported, because it's unacceptable. American citizens voted for this stuff to stop, and we voted for President Trump to close those borders. So the majority of Americans, we need to have America First parade. America First. because it's strength in numbers. So let people see. You know, all they do, the Democrats, they have some of these deranged Democrats that they don't know that they're not even fighting for you. They're fighting harder for criminals than they are for you. They even went over to El Salvador to retrieve Kilmar Garcia when Van Hollen, Senator Van Hollen, had two of his constituents murdered in Maryland, and he didn't even go see the family by El Salvadorians. So it's like it's lopsided. I mean, not to even visit the family and give his condolences, but you can fly all the way to El Salvador on taxpayer dollars. We see this as Americans. We're watching all of this, and all of us are starting to speak out and speak up. So we are so thankful to God that that this is United States of America, and we have laws, and things are going to be done in decency and in order. And that's how it is. And we are going to respect and honor our military, whether you like it or not. That's what we're going to do. Trump, Trump, Trump. And if anyone deserve it after 250 years fighting for our freedoms, they deserve that. And we could spend all the monies we have on everyone else around the world. So if you don't support it, then you don't have to watch. You don't have to watch. If you don't support our soldiers, if you don't believe that they should have a parade, if you're not American, if you're against America, then this isn't for you. And you have a right not to watch. You have a right not to watch. So you could tell who's American and who's not, because if anyone is angry and upset about something like this that should be honorable and it should be we should give respect to, you could tell who's not American. You could tell just by in the chat, we can weed out who's really American and who's not American by the comments. It's so telling, because nobody that's American would be angry about the military or angry about our soldiers after 250 years of service. I mean, yeah, I support America. And like I said, you can tell who's not American, because to be angry about honoring them says a lot. But if something breaks off or kicks off in the world, then America, they want America to come to their aid, and they want these men and women to fight for this country and fight for other countries. And we never, I don't know, we have ever honored them. Ever. And that's a lie. That's mainstream media talking about he called them suckers and losers. That's a lie. Google it. Educate yourself. I mean, there's been so many lies that's been told for you to have this negative and hatred for someone that's actually trying, that actually that's making a difference in this country. But the people that was tearing it down, it was crickets. Crickets. Tearing it down, crickets. But I suggest anyone that's illegal, you need to go and apply for your citizenship. That's what I would do. Apply for your citizenship. Try to become legal. See, when you become legal, you go through the procedures. That's how you learn to respect the country, because you have to learn about America. You have to pay, you have to, pass a test and all these other things. But when you just walk in and you're bestowed free housing, healthcare, education, food, you're just given everything that's not even given to Americans, then that's why there's no respect, and that's why people are acting out. Because when you don't work for something, and they said in, like, even in Mexico, like the Mexicans in Los Angeles that's acting up, they said in their country they don't even allow all that. They don't do that. But they're doing it here. They're doing it here. You got Mexicans on there say they don't even allow this in our country. What's going on there, they said, is an embarrassment to them, their behavior. If you want people on your side, you have to win them over, and that's not the way. You keep going with that theory. How can you be legal on stolen land? Let's see how that worked for you.
Needed medication. You have your spouse's blood pressure medication.
Okay, we're still waiting for Trump to come out. Just to bounce off of you and stuff until he comes out. They're dragging this out. I can't wait for the parade. That's going to be, don't forget to come and join us. I'm probably going to put it up probably on Friday so you guys can hit the notification bell so you be notified. But we most definitely are going to be broadcasting the parade, the 250th birthday of the United States Army. Woohoo! God bless America. God bless America. USA. 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 God bless you. Thank God that we have a new president, because we were going heading in the wrong direction. The Democrats still don't have a leader. Isn't that amazing? There's no leader. They have no plan. They don't have plans for anything. All they know is they have no talking points. So they're going to holler about Trump. They have nothing. There's nothing there. Nothing. They can't even give their people any pushback. Thank God. About time we have a decent president.
Yeah.
It's about time. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Now Trump, is that his plan?
Paul, so what was Joe Biden? He said
I
we have a horrible president.
I know. They not from America. They're not from America. They must have just got here like a year ago. They don't know what Joe Biden was MIA.
People literally died because of him. American citizens.
Yeah, he's talking about nobody died on his watch. Like he forgot about Afghanistan. 13 soldiers died while they hightailed it out of Afghanistan, leaving hundreds and billions of dollars worth of equipment. And Iran was like, "Oh, we're back. This is a new day for us. Now we're concerned that they might get a nuclear bomb." And they were broke. They had no money. 13 soldiers lost their lives, and 50 or more others were mutilated. They lost legs, arms, limbs, all kinds of things. That's what happened. So Yeah, what was that? It's amazing. They were like crickets. It's like unbelievable. Literally unbelievable. This is I don't like when they say it's supposed to happen a certain time and it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't watch CNN, RB. We're not just watching Fox News. But they're the only ones who are honest about what's really going on. No, Jocelyn, we get our news from. I get my news from Chat GPT. Thank you very much. Man, black people really lost. Jenny said I wouldn't be confident about Trump because black people are next. Remember that.
You're living in La La Land and don't know the law of the land. Yeah, they always try to get black people to join in with the bull crap, but when black people join in, black people are the ones that get locked up, killed, and stomped.
1994 crime bill.
Yeah. 1994 crime bill, mass incarceration of black people. The author was Joe Biden, so we could thank Joe Biden for that. Thank you, Joe Biden, for taking away fathers and sons and uncles and cousins and nephews out of the household. So then the kids are raised by the streets, and then they wind up in the prison system because they didn't have a father to teach them, to show them the way. It makes a big difference when you have a head of a household and the father is there to raise the children. That's what Joe Biden did to the black community. And then some. He's racist. He's the one racist. Our people never gonna wake up. We vote and get nothing for our votes.
Jocelyn, we didn't say that this is the most perfect country. This country has done some evil things to people.
That's right.
Such as the Native Americans and black people. We're not saying this is a perfect rainbow sunshine country. This country has a lot of problems, and it looks like Trump's the only one that's trying to fix them. But if you look it up, they said 68% of Native Americans voted for Donald J. Trump. You could look that up.
He said, I'm Native and I don't claim you, Jocelyn. Oh, look at that. Give him a like. We need to make a Native American Jocelyn.
Yeah.
What did the government do to my Native American people? Make him a mod.
Who was it?
Oh, James Crocker.
Okay.
He said, I'm Native and I.
Jocelyn, are you for illegal immigrants? Because it kind of sounds like you are. I trust Trump, the businessman, with anything on the economy. Dude's a billionaire. Exactly, Will. Jocelyn says she's not for the immigration reform.
Of course not. It's going to affect her. Immigration reform is to deport them.
Wow.
To get them off of Social Security, get them off of Medicaid, get them off of Medicare. They're draining us.
Hey, RB, I would love to have many felt business too and still be a billionaire. I would
and
love
president
that.
Of the country twice.
Yeah.
Twice. What is going on? When is he coming on? You know what? Turn it back to you. I'm gonna see what's
Dry skin from time to time, not with miracle cream in the cabinet. There's also an orange op.
Turn that off.
no. What I was trying to do, I want to see what phone is showing.
Well, you look up Trump's net worth. That's all you gotta do. Yeah, citizens first.
And on the left is the citizens are last. Citizens, that's why they came up with America First, is because Americans are being ignored.
Now Jocelyn's new excuse for the election results. She said, "Did you know 20 million people didn't vote this election like they did in the past election?"
Do you know those was fake numbers in the last election? You think 81 million people voted for Biden? Like he was the most popular president ever to run? Really? That Biden was the most popular president ever run for office? No. I don't know. When is this? There's so much stuff, and it's funny that people don't talk about Biden pardoning his entire family. They don't talk about the lies about the laptop. They don't talk about Hunter Biden, that his father had to pardon him for 10 years for prior criminal activities. Pardon him. See, when you're pardoned, that means that you have committed crimes they need the president to get you off of. Nobody talks about the oil pen. Nobody talks about a man that we all got to see that was unfit to be in office. Nobody talks about 40% of his presidency he spent on vacation. Nobody talks about who was actually running this country, who actually opened up the borders. Nobody's talking about how they got us involved in 2 wars that they could have prevented. Nobody talks about all the monies and it's
Trump's
Yeah.
not taking a paycheck for being president.
Yeah, he's the only president. There's only been 2 presidents that hadn't taken a salary, and Trump is one of them. Trump doesn't get paid for what he's doing. He doesn't take a salary, unlike all the previous presidents. And look what he went to become president, and he's been working tirelessly.
RB, you just don't want to accept the truth, dude.
Yeah, well, that's how some of them are. I mean, we all are experiencing.
Jocelyn said Trump is broke. Listen, he's president. We're not focused on his net worth right now, even though it's over $1 billion. He's president. That's what this stream is about.
Well, that's what they would love to say. People that don't even have any money in the bank. I mean, you're going to say a billionaire is broke. I mean,
broke too, then.
That's why Mar-a-Lago. I mean, how's he living there? He got golf courses. He has his own planes. Finally, I think is that his helicopter that's landing? Yeah, that's his helicopter.
Now Jocelyn laughing.
Talking about he broke. Yeah, okay. He has more. You will never see the kind of wealth he has.
We're not going to tolerate, RB. You're blocked. Now he's saying violent things about the helicopter.
Should have reported him.
Okay, I guess I report him. These Democrats are
You gotta
sick.
report them. You see, when things aren't going their way, that their party has taught them to be angry and use curse words and to spew out hate and violence because there's no substance.
Now Jocelyn said, yeah, because he inherited his wealth from his demon father. Yeah,
You for someone, you sound like you really a hater.
yeah.
You really need to seek Jesus because you're the hate is coming through your pores. Why are you worrying about this man's wealth and this man's money? Because his father gave him a couple million. Everyone wish they had families that could have given him a head start, but the money he made on his own. You know, all in his pockets. You have to worry about your own pockets. You read it.
Breaking news: Jocelyn is willing to take in a illegal Mexican family and be responsible for their actions.
Oh, go ahead, Jocelyn. That's a
Thank you.
wonderful. Thank you so much. We thank you. Anybody want to give to the super chat? We're trying to buy different stuff for our channel to
No,
upgrade it.
no, Sheen, that's Kamala, one of the most non-Christian people ever. Her kicking Christians out her rally because they said Jesus is king. Whatever you say, come back, Brandon. Exactly, Jerry. It's a part of business. Now Jocelyn's saying take the Bible out of schools. Yeah, you need to be delivered.
You know what? Jocelyn is not even that person's real name. I don't know what's going on with that spirit because that's not of God. Nothing about this person because you could tell that they're not American because they've been took the Bibles out of the schools in the 1960s. That's why abortion rates went up, pregnancies went up, crimes went up because they removed the Bible. But Trump is restoring the Bible. He wants to bring the Bible back. Is what Trump is going to do.
Well, you got any proof to that? I'm gonna need some proof and evidence to back up your claims before you just make just statements. I need you to back up your claims. You believe in everything exploding into existence, and you believe that everyone evolved from monkeys, right? Because that makes total sense.
Immigrants could take care of themselves and go back to their countries because we can't afford them because they come here, they're on our health care. Can they pay for their own health care? Can they pay for their own food, their own housing? They came came in this country homeless. Can they pay for their own education? Tell me they could take care of them. No. We're paying for it. Our tax dollars have been paying for it. We want our money back. They can pay for it. We want our money back. They could start with the $570 million. Yeah, they own their own businesses from our taxpayer monies. They don't even have to go through the format. They own their own. So you're talking about 14 million of them own their own businesses? Is that what you're saying? Those should be Americans that own businesses. Americans. Thank you, Chris. It's about America first. You're going to take care of your own household. You're not going to tell me that people on here are going to take care of your neighbor's house and your kids are hungry and you're being evicted because you're not taking care of your own bills. That's the saying. The United States is our house. It's about taking care of our house first. But it's been vice versa. The United States has been taking care of everyone else except for Americans. You have Americans living on the street. You have Americans without health care. Americans that don't have those businesses. Americans that are not getting assistance with food and lodging. There are homeless vets out here. And they should be a priority. They should not be last on the list. And that's what America first means. Because America has been last while our people suffer. And these are our taxpayer dollars that are being utilized for everyone else except for the people that are citizens of this country. And that's a big problem, that we're not helping our own, but we're rescuing everyone else. And I totally support America first. I don't like when you go to inner cities or whatever, you see them laying out on the streets, suffering, begging for food. And we're giving illegal immigrants $13,000 on an EBT card, and we're giving them ATM cards, thousands and thousands of dollars a month, and we're not offering any help. They had an American young man, a Caucasian, he couldn't afford his inhaler, the medication, and he died. Americans are not getting the health care that they're getting and receiving. And that shouldn't be happening. I'm paying taxes. I want my money to benefit the people that are here. And that big, beautiful bill is going to cut it all out and focus on taking care of the vets. Trump had to take money that was going to migrants to go to vets that are living out on the streets.
Jocelyn,
And that's a fact.
Jocelyn, how can you say that when Biden has given over $100 million to illegals? She said, you want to know how much we're giving the military, even though we got homeless vets? What about Joe Biden?
Military is, what are you talking about giving to the military? See, this person has a problem. The vets, the military are the vets. They're from the military. What are you talking about? That just doesn't make sense.
Joe, stay mad, bro, and enjoy.
And the vets need to be honored, along with the active duty soldiers. That doesn't even make sense. No, they don't want to honor. Well, you could tell who's American, who's not American. Because it doesn't make any sense. Everyone should be rejoicing. Everyone will be saying, wow, it's about time that something is being done for our soldiers. Here you go, Pete. Pete Hegseth is coming on, so he's probably going to come on before Trump. What?
No, it's just reading something.
Well, good afternoon,
About time.
Fort Bragg. It is Fort Bragg, isn't it?
Come on now.
Let me tell you what a privilege it was to be just a few miles away from here, watching a sheer demonstration of military power from the All-Americans. It's incredible. I wish every American could stand in that field and watch 600 paratroopers fall in the sky.
Yes.
After preparatory fires and assault on the objective. That's sheer American firepower. But you know what I wish Americans could also see? What I get a chance to see every day. What other members of the cabinet
Jenny, why did Joe Biden pardon his entire family?
Is our Commander-in-Chief, President Donald Trump, putting America first.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It doesn't matter the situation, whether he's meeting with foreign leaders, we're meeting in the Oval Office, or he's talking to soldiers. He's the same leader we know and love. He's laser focused on America first, on peace through strength, and on supporting our American warfighters and vets. You know exactly where his compass is. You know exactly what he believes. And what I tell troops when we travel across the world, and I've had a chance to meet so many of you fine Americans, what I always say, the message from our Commander-in-Chief is, he has your back. That matters. Let me tell you, I've been, not that long ago, in shoes and boots similar to yours. And when I was going on a mission, or I was about to take part in something that was uncertain, involved complications, the fog of war, all I wanted to know was that my company commander, battalion commander, brigade commander, division commander, and my commander-in-chief had my back when I had to do difficult things on behalf of the nation, where politicians in air-conditioned offices don't understand, and they want to second-guess. President Donald J. Trump has your back. So at the Defense Department, we're doing 3 critical things at his direction. Number 1, we're restoring the warrior ethos. We're getting back to basics. Standards, accountability, readiness, training, warfighting, lethality. We're not a college or a university. We're not interested in your woke garbage and your political correctness.
Woo! All right, tell them, Pete.
We're warfighters who close with and destroy the enemy on behalf of our nation when we come home to those we love, because we don't fight because we hate what's in front of us. We fight because we love what's behind us. That's what makes the American soldier different. So we're restoring the warrior ethos back to basics. We're also rebuilding our military. We'll have the first $1 trillion budget. You will have the best equipment in your hands to stare down the enemy. From multi-billion-dollar platforms to the best rifles to the best equipment to hypersonics and drones and fighters and jets, ships and carriers. Everything you need, President Trump will make sure you have. We're rebuilding the military after 4 years of deferred maintenance. And finally, we're reestablishing deterrence. Our allies know that we stand with them, and our adversaries know what we are capable of doing to them, so that we can maintain peace through strength. President Trump seeks peace. He wants peace. So do I. So do you. For our families, for our kids and our grandkids. But those who long for peace must prepare for war. And that's something the 82nd Airborne, America's 911, does every single day. So it's an absolute honor to be your 29th Secretary of Defense. You have my pledge that every single day our focus is on you and your mission and having your back. And you're about 1 minute away from hearing from your Commander-in-Chief, President Donald Trump. God bless you and God bless our nation.
God bless. God bless America. God bless America. God bless America. USA. 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 God bless America. Thank you that we're living in an amazing country, being here in the United States of America. Anyone that has something to say, don't worry. Don't worry. Trump is Captain America. Trump, don't worry, here you come. Trump gonna make sure that anybody that's against America, they're not gonna be here too much longer. Trump, Trump, Trump. Woo-hoo! I don't know if we can play that, can we?
I don't know. Yeah, America's the only country where people that say they hate it never leave.
Amen to that. Uh-huh.
Look what someone said.
What?
Like, what Scott said. Oh, thank you. I don't know if we should like that. I think that's coming at
Be
us.
honest, Captain Israel. Okay, yeah, we're for Israel.
Yeah, we're for Israel.
Most definitely, we're for Israel. Absolutely.
That's where Jesus
I'm
Christ
glad that he
graced this
support
earth.
Israel. That's right.
That's where Jesus graced this earth and Israel.
Glad to be American. You know you gotta hear his song. Yeah, daddy's home and they're mad. They're mad. It's like no one does anything everything he does is wrong. It's just amazing how we have people that say the most are doing nothing to make things better. Only thing they do is spew hate, complain, angry, and they have no leadership. They're doing nothing to improve it for everyone. Nothing. Nothing at all. And he has to fight everyone to get anything done for Americans. For Americans. For Americans. For Americans. All the stuff that is done by that previous administration and all their ills and all their crimes and all their cover-ups, they get a pass. That was the worst administration I think that's ever been in office, is that previous one.
Trump is 6'3".
The people that's on here is from Los Angeles. You hear the military? They talking about, we love you, Trump. I think the world loves him more than was the left here, the lefties that are here in the United States, because Saudi Arabia gave this man and Qatar gave him a jet escort into their countries. I mean, it was like he was royalty. It was unimaginable.
Wow. Wow. That's a beautiful sight, and it's a beautiful sight to be with you in a place called Fort Bragg.
Oh, this?
Can you believe they changed that name in the last?
You know, our pastors support gay marriage.
That's not our past.
That's not our part. Our former. Yeah.
All about it. I want to just say God
2819.
bless the US Army and God bless the USA.
God bless the USA.
Great week.
God bless
I wanna
United
thank
States
so
of
many
America.
incredible soldiers and paratroopers, pilots, warriors for that awesome display of pure, unrivaled American military might. I just saw something that was crazy. You don't want to mess.
Hey, you need to be on this
In a
chat.
long time, we have the best. Nobody even comes close, but they just gave me a display that you might be lucky not to see it because it's a little scary. It was beautiful to watch. Let's hear it to the Army Special Operations and Command and the 82nd Airborne Division and the 18th Airborne Corps. What a show it was and what a show it continues to be. And Saturday is going to be a big day.
Woohoo! Yeah, Saturday.
Washington, D.C. You know, a lot of people said, we don't want to do that. I say, yeah, we do. We want to show off a little bit. You know, recently, other countries celebrated the victory of World War I. France was celebrating.
Yes, they did.
We're all celebrating. The only one that doesn't celebrate is the USA, and we're the ones that won the war. Without us, you'd all be speaking German right now. Maybe a little Japanese thrown in. But we won the war. And we don't celebrate, but we're going to celebrate on Saturday, and we're going to celebrate from now on. We're going to celebrate our greatness and our achievements. This week we honor 250 years of valor and glory and triumph by the greatest fighting force ever to walk the face of the earth, the United States Army.
Yes. Woo! Go Army!
For 2.5 centuries, our soldiers have marched into the raging fires of battle and obliterated America's enemies.
God has to follow the rules.
Been a force like this.
Wow. God has to follow the rules too. Wow. You are one lost person.
our largest
God
budget for military operations.
answers to
over
man.
$1 trillion. We've never even come close. But our army has smashed
has to follow
foreign empires, humbled kings, toppled tyrants, and hunted terrorist savages through the very gates of hell. Our soldiers do not rest until they win. You know that better than anybody. From June 1775 to June 2025, those foolish enough to challenge America's army have been met with unyielding strength, unbreakable spirit, and unstoppable, overwhelming force. Time and again, our enemies have learned that if you dare to threaten the American people, American soldier will chase you down, crush you, and cast you into oblivion. That's what happens, unfortunately. That's what happens. Doesn't sound very nice, but it's true, isn't it? The last sound you ever hear will be the chilling howl of Black Hawks in the dead of night, the thunderous boom of artillery fire, or the ferocious roar of a U.S. Army infantry brigade charging over the horizon. That brigade is going to charge like you've never seen before, and hopefully I can keep you out of that, but if I don't, you're ready. Is that right? If I can keep you out of that, if I keep you out of it, that's okay, but if we need it, you're ready. You know, it's called peace through strength, isn't it? Peace through strength. For our adversaries, there's no greater fear than the United States Army. They all fear us, and we have the greatest force anywhere on earth. You know, you read different stories that others are building and building and building. We have a force like no other. They said it would take 5 years to defeat ISIS. We did it in 4 weeks. 4 weeks. We let them go. Unlike other of your leaders, I let them go, and we had General Raisin Kane, who's now the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, because I liked him. He was a warrior. He was a great warrior, and now he's been rewarded for his incredible work. But they said it would take 5 years, and we did it in 4 weeks. Someday I'm going to ask him to explain that one to me. But it was the television generals that said that. The real generals got out and fought, and nobody fought like them ever. But for the American people, there's no greater pride, because you are the righteous sword of American justice and the ultimate shield of American freedom. This week we remember that we only have a country because we first had an army. The army was first. In fact, the army was even before the country. You know that, right? 1 year before the country. After 250 years, we still proudly declare that we are free because you are strong. You are so strong. We're safe because you are brave, and America's flag will never fall because America's army will never, ever fail. Never going to fail. Every branch of the armed forces has played a critical role in protecting our nation, but no one has done more fighting, bleeding, and winning than the U.S. Army. Nobody's done that. The Army has earned more combat medals and more battle ribbons than any other service, and 70% of all of the medals of honor. We give away medals of honor all the time at the White House to incredibly brave people, but you have 70% of them, Army soldiers, and especially our Army paratroopers, truly go all the way. You know that expression, all the way. It's one of your beautiful expressions. As President of the United States, let me express my undying gratitude to our nation, for every soldier here today, for every veteran and their families, those incredible families that are with us and all across America, and for every patriot who has worn the uniform over 250 years. Can you imagine that? We thank you from the absolute bottom of our hearts. Few places loom larger in Army lore than where we are gathered today. The one and only Fort Bragg. The one and only Fort Bragg. But remember, it was only that little brief moment that it wasn't called Fort Bragg. It was by the Biden administration, not Trump. I had nothing to do with it. We got it changed. We said, You know, I came here numerous times and everybody, they kept saying Fort Bragg, Fort Bragg. I said, you know, it's not the name, but then I was making a speech. I said, what do you think I should call this place? Call it Fort Bragg. I said, Fort Bragg, how you doing? We won a lot of battles from this place, and that's the way it is. It wasn't even close. When Pete and some of the generals came to see me, I said, not even close. Not even close. This is the home of the Green Berets, the Sky Dragons, and the All-American 82nd Airborne. We know what 82nd Airborne Division is. This is where the GIs who won the Second World War learned to pack their parachutes and push howitzers and go right into those C-47s with lots of arms and push them right out those big, beautiful doors and wield their bayonets and pry the enemy from the hedgerows of the French countryside. France needed us badly. We were there. A lot of people needed us badly. They still do, maybe worse than ever. It was here in the soil that the Army forged the medal that held strong at Bastogne. It was here the mighty paratroopers earned their wings before they rained down death from above to liberate Sicily, Normandy, and even the Netherlands. That's right. We saved the Netherlands. Every inch of this base is steeped in the legacy of those warriors who have said with pride, "Sir, I trained at Fort Bragg, sir." That was pretty cool. And that is why we restored the historic name of this very, very special place. I don't know if it could be the same place. Fort Bragg is in, that's the name. And Fort Bragg, it shall always remain. That's never going to be happening again. And for a little news for the fake news back there, the fake news. Ladies and gentlemen, look at them all. Oh, yeah, what I have to put up with. Fake news. What I have to put up with. But they're all right. They've been very nice today. They were impressed with that display, I can tell you that. I think it took them a little by surprise. But for a little breaking news, we are also going to be restoring the names to Fort Pickett, Fort Hood, Fort Gordon, Fort Rucker, Fort Polk, Fort A.P. Hill, and Fort Robert E. Lee. We won a lot of battles out of those forts. It's no time to change. And I'm superstitious, you know, I like to keep it going. Huh? I'm very superstitious. We want to keep it going. So that's a big story. We just announced that today to you for the first time. They said, why didn't you wait till Saturday? I said, I can't wait. I got to talk to my friends here today. This is a record crowd. You never had a crowd this big. That's an honor. You think this crowd would have showed up for Biden? I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. I want to thank so many great leaders here today, including Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, who's been great. By the way, Pete, thank you. And he went through the wars, you know? Pete went through the wars. He had to get through a very hostile group of people that I think really don't want to see America be great again, maybe, or something. But he persevered, and he got there, and he's doing a fantastic job. Great job, Pete. Thank you very much. Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Doug Collins, a fantastic man. Thank you, Doug. You're doing a great job. Doing a great job. Way up from the last administration, Veterans Administration. It's way up. You saw the recent poll. The people are happy. They weren't happy a couple of years ago. They were really happy 5 years ago. But it went downhill from there. We did so much. We got you medical, if you had to wait, if you had to delay it all. Said some great things. Thank you very much. The Secretary of the Army, a really brilliant young guy, went to Yale, can't have everything. Top student, Dan Driscoll. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. And we have your senators, Senator Ted Budd, and Senator Tom Tillis. Thank you, fellas. Congressman Richard Hudson, Pat Harrigan. Where's Pat? Pat? Good, Pat. You're doing great. You guys are amazing. And we have the big brass. General Andrew Pappas. General, thank you. Thank you, General. Doing a great job. General John Braja. John, thank you. Great job. Thank you for today, John. General Greg Anderson. Thank you. Thank you, Greg. Thank you. Sergeant Major of the Army, Michael Weimer.
Sergeant Major.
And before going further, I want to say a few words about the situation in Los Angeles, California. Have you heard of the
Uh-oh.
where I've deployed thousands of National Guard troops and hundreds of Marines to protect federal law enforcement from the attacks of a vicious and violent mob. And some of the radical left, they say, oh, that's not nice. Well, if we didn't do it, there wouldn't be a Los Angeles. It'd be burning today, just like their houses were burning a number of months ago. Generations of Army heroes did not shed their blood on distant shores only to watch our country be destroyed by invasion and third world lawlessness here at home, like is happening in California. As Commander-in-Chief, I will not let that happen.
Thank you, Trump. Thank you. Thank you.
What you're witnessing in California is a full-blown assault on peace, on public order, and on national sovereignty carried out by rioters bearing foreign flags with the aim of continuing a foreign invasion of our country. We're not going to let that happen.
No, we're not.
Remember, millions of people were allowed to come into our country totally unchecked and unvetted by stupid people or radical left people or sick people. But regardless, open border policy, the dumbest policy yet. I would say even dumber than men playing in women's sports, transgender for everyone.
Wow.
Even dumber than that. They're hurling bricks and cinder blocks at law enforcement. Did you see they're breaking up the sidewalks and the curbs, breaking it up with big, strong hammers? These guys are professionals. These are not amateurs. They're breaking it up because they took the bricks away from them. They came in with bricks, red bricks, that they could throw at our military and at the police in LA, who are very good, but they weren't aggressive like our soldiers. Our soldiers really were aggressive, but they all worked together. But they came in with bricks, they were taken away, and they had hammers. Oh, wow, how did that happen? And they're pounding the sidewalk. I said, what the hell is he doing? And he's breaking it up and making it into concrete bombs in a way, and they're dropping them on our military. They're throwing them at our military. Pretty good arms they had, too. Hits guys right in the face.
Yeah, one guy got hit in the
Worse than a
face.
brick. They're taking them up to the bridges and they're dropping
A
them. and the
cop got
cars that
hit
are
in the
going by.
face.
These are animals. But they proudly carry the flags of other countries, but they don't carry the American flag.
That's
They
what we've
only
been
burn
saying
it.
on
Did you
our
see a lot of
streams
the
every
flags being
day.
burned? They weren't being burned by people from our country or from people that love our country. People that burn the American flag should go to jail for 1 year. That's what they should be doing.
Yes. Yes.
And we'll see if we can get that done. We're going to try and get that done. We're working with some of your senators. I know Senator Josh Hawley is very much involved. And I know the two senators from here. I think you guys, are you guys in favor of it? Boy, would this be a bad time for them to say no. I got you. I got those two votes. The agitators are throwing firebombs, Molotov cocktails, lighting vehicles ablaze. You saw the cars that were burning,
Terrible.
robbing police officers. And
they don't do that in their own
officers.
country.
Toughest people you'll ever meet, and they love our country, and they're getting really...
And everything's been given to them.
They don't allow it.
They had no
And
reason to
attempting
act up.
infiltrate and occupy federal buildings wearing armor and face shields. The best money can buy, somebody's financing it. We're going to find out through Pam Bondi and Department of Justice, who it is, they're already on it, who's financing all this equipment, very professional, by a foreign enemy, that's what they are. A lot of those people were let in here by the Biden administration. They just poured right in. They came from prisons, they came from jails from all over the world, they came from mental institutions, they were the leaders of gangs, they were drug lords, allowed to come into our country. Their countries threw them out. Their countries would bus them or drive them right to our border and say, go in there, you ever come back, we're gonna kill you. And we got them, and we're getting them out of here. I want to applaud the courage and the strength of the incredible troops.
I'm not
who
an
are
African
right now
American, I'm a Black
standing guard
American.
to protect federal property and personnel and uphold the supremacy of federal law. That's what they're doing.
They
They're
refuse to
protecting
let
our
black people get off their
ICE
plantation in
agents,
Democratic
they're
Party.
protecting the police.
Yeah,
in
we're
Los
Americans,
Angeles.
We're
period.
Americans.
Head of the police in Los
That's
Angeles, a
it,
good
we're
man, I hear a good
Americans.
man, but he was actually saying we really did need this help. It had gotten away from them.
Police chief
It had
even
long
had to
gotten
say
away.
it.
And we gave it to them. Not only are these service members defending the honor citizens of California, they're also defending our republic itself. And they are heroes. They're in there, they're heroes. They're fighting for us. They're stopping an invasion just like you'd stop an invasion. The big difference is most of the time when you stop an invasion, they're wearing a uniform. In many ways, it's tougher when they're not wearing a uniform because you don't know exactly who they are. In Los Angeles, the governor of California, the mayor of Los Angeles, they're incompetent. And they paid troublemakers, agitators, and insurrectionists. They're engaged in this willful attempt to nullify federal law and aid the occupation of the city by criminal invaders. That's what it is. They're invaders, no different. Their position is that the rioting will not stop unless ICE withdraws from Los Angeles and ceases the enforcement of federal immigration law. In other words, they came in here illegally. Many of them came out of prisons and jails, the most heinous people. They came from all over the world. They came from the Congo in Africa. They came from Asia. They came from the prisons of these places. They were put into the United States and allowed to stay here because we had a grossly unfit president who listened to whoever was operating the auto pen. And they allowed these people to stay. And by the way, I've known this guy for a long time. He was never the sharpest bulb. But you know what he was? He wasn't a radical left lunatic. He never dreamt about open borders. He never said that when he was of sound mind, which actually was a very long time ago. So sad what they've done to our country. I will say that without question, however, you're seeing the financial numbers. We've now got the hottest country anywhere in the world. And 6 months ago, it was the coldest country. We're being laughed at all over the world. I was in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE. We brought back $5.1 trillion into our country. And all three leaders, they're great leaders, all three said, you know, you are presiding over the hottest country anywhere in the world. And they said the exact same thing. They said 6 months ago, it was the coldest country. I'll tell you, it changed on a date. You know what November 5th was? It was the election of a president that loves you. And that's when it all changed. That's when it all changed. Within the span of a few decades, Los Angeles has gone from being one of the cleanest, safest, and most beautiful cities on earth to being a trash heap with entire neighborhoods under the control of transnational gangs and criminal networks. It's horrible what's happened so quickly. As the entire world can now see, uncontrolled migration leads to chaos, dysfunction, and disorder. And you know what? They have it in Europe too. It's happening in many of the countries of Europe. They don't like it when I say it, but I'll say it loudly and clearly. They better do something before it's too late. Very simply, we will liberate Los Angeles and make it free, clean, and safe again. It's happening very quickly. The one big, beautiful bill, you've heard about it. We call it the one big, I was on one of the television shows, I think, To Face the Nation. Ladies and gentlemen, deface the nation. It's actually called Face the Nation. for
Yeah,
those of
you heard
who are
it,
smart
deface
enough
the
not to know.
nation. I heard it,
Those of you
Trump.
not know. But I was on one of the shows, and I said, we gotta get a great bill. They said, would you like it to be one bill, or would you like it to be 7 or 8 bills? They said, I want one big, beautiful bill. And the Republican Party liked that statement. They call it one big, beautiful bill, so that's good. And that's what it is, it's great. And it's currently before Congress. It provides all necessary funding for ICE, for Border Patrol, and for the Department of Defense. And I told you at a level that we've never had before, over $1 trillion. We better get that bill approved, otherwise your helicopters and your planes and your equipment's gonna start to look a little bit old, General. You better push your favorite congressman, you better push these 2 senators. I think they're in good shape, however. But we gotta get it approved, and those congressmen by you are all 100%. I don't even have to talk to them, they've been so great. So I wanna sign this into law immediately, and with the signing, so many great things will happen to our country. No tax on tips. Think of that. No tax, seniors on Social Security. No tax on overtime. They're gonna pay for themselves. And if you get a car, and if you borrow money to buy the car, we're gonna let you deduct the interest payment if it's a new car, made in America. Only if it's made in America. If it's made in Japan or China or any place else, we're not really interested in your deduction. I was elected winning all 7 swing states, the popular vote by millions and millions of votes in all counties throughout America by 2,750 to 525. That's what I call a big number. But this is a mandate from the people to restore the sovereign borders of the United States, and that is exactly what we're doing. Not only the borders, the financial institutions, and our country itself. We will not be deterred. And the mob in Los Angeles or anyone else, anywhere else, will not succeed. They don't even have a little chance. And I will be calling you early as I see this happening, because, you know, in theory, I guess you could say a governor could call, but they don't call. They let their city burn.
Yeah.
Like in Minneapolis with this guy who ran for vice president against JD. That was a good debate, JD against this guy. Remember how bad he was? That was one of the, I said, JD, there's never been a man like you're competing against. This is the worst. I think he's running for president too, can you believe it? But he's a radical left lunatic, and I'll never forget, in Minnesota, that city was burning down. Minneapolis was burning down. It was gonna burn to the ground, and he wouldn't call the guard. And I waited for a long time, and I called the guard, and I saved it, but I wish I would have called it the first day. And I said, you know, if this ever happens again, because I was thinking about running, because the election was rigged and stolen, we all know it. They said, we're gonna run again, and if I win, which I hope, remember, we're gonna make it too big to rig. But we did. We won by millions and millions of votes. So beautiful to watch. That was such a beautiful, 9:02 in the evening. He said, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump is projected to be the winner. I said, well, you think that was easy? I don't think these ladies from North Carolina think it was easy. You know, they followed me. I don't know what happened to their husbands. They're married to very nice people. But they've been to, 138 rallies? They said more. And they're from North Carolina. It's nice that we have one nearby finally, right? They go all over the country. I don't know what the hell's going on, but they're great. They're North Carolina, beautiful, wonderful woman, and we appreciate it. Like 130 rallies or some crazy number. Are your husbands satisfied with that? Are they okay? Oh, here he is. He showed up. One of them showed up. That's great. Congratulations. Great women, actually. The great patriots. We will use every asset at our disposal to quell the violence and restore law and order right away. We're not going to wait 7 days and 8 days and wait for a governor that's never going to call and watch cities burn. And let me tell you, but we didn't do this. Los Angeles would burn. It would be burning to the ground right now, just like their houses burned to the ground just a few months ago.
Yeah.
And the only flag that will wave triumphant over the streets of Los Angeles is the American flag.
The American
So
flag.
help me God. The American flag is the one that's going to wave triumphantly over the streets. And now let's get back to the true reason we're here today celebrating 250 years of unbreakable Army courage. This week we commemorate not just the starting point in Army history, but a turning point in the history of the world. That's how important it is. When the Continental Congress created the Army and appointed its first commander, name happened to be George Washington. Has anybody heard of him? George Washington. Are you okay, darling? Are you all right? Yeah, take your time, please. Doctor, please. Doctor.
See, Trump always
Doctor
makes sure
in the
people
house.
okay at
Thank
his
you.
events, right?
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
That's
These are great people. They've been
that's the
waiting here a long
people's
time,
president.
General. So, we want to give them all the time they need, right?
Right.
Thank you very much.
That's the people's president.
He spotted her.
Greatest people in the world. They are amazing. Amazing.
Wow. That's our
Oh,
president.
good. Thank you very much.
Nobody
Thank you.
has anything against Spanish people. It's just called coming to this country legally.
Okay, honey. Thank
It's
you.
not only Spanish people that came
Beautiful
into the
young
country.
person.
Yeah.
People came from 120
Beautiful
different
young
countries.
He said you want
We
our
have a lot of
food,
young
our
people.
culture, but you don't
Yeah,
want
yeah.
us Latinos.
We want
Food.
young
Don't
people,
nobody want
old
they
people,
food.
and everything in between. It's sort of nice. They used to say, but Trump doesn't have the young people. We won everything. Thank you very much, Doctor.
They
Great job.
delusional. I've never heard nobody
When
say
the
that
Continental
before.
Congress
Ever.
created the Army and appointed its first commander, General George Washington, they sent the fierce spirit of a free nation into
Look, it
battle.
said this is a total
under a
waste
rallying
of
cry that
taxpayer
echoes
dollars.
to
They don't
this
support
day.
the military now?
Give me liberty or give me death. Have you heard of it?
For a president to
Quite a
go
beautiful
and
statement.
speak to the military
Think
is
of
a
what that means.
waste
Give
of
me
what?
liberty or give me
They
death.
said
You know
what?
He
exactly
A
said
waste.
that
this is a
means.
waste of our taxpayer
Just 3 days
dollars.
after the birth
They're
of the Army,
not. They cannot be
the
from the
great
United
patriot,
States.
founding father,
They got.
Dr. Joseph
Something is
Warren,
wrong with them.
was on the front lines as a soldiers stood totally outnumbered and outgunned.
These
at
people act like
Bunker
they
Hill.
hate
They
the
had a
president. They hate the country so much.
group of
Why are they
soldiers
here?
against them that were supposed to be in that day unbeatable. Warren's mother had begged him, son, please don't do it. She said, please, please don't do it. Don't risk your life for even the patriot cause, please. And he replied, wherever danger is, dear mother, there your son will be. I will either set my country free or shed my last drop of blood to make us so beautiful. So the words are so beautiful. At Bunker Hill, Warren kept his vow, fighting and fighting and fighting and loving his country until he fell, drenched in blood, and gave his life at the very young age of 34. Exactly 250 years later, we are joined by Dr. Warren's great-great-great-great-great-grandson, and it's 7 generations down, and now an Iraq War veteran, retired Army specialist, Scott Warren, is here with his daughter, Sergeant E5 Carrington Sanders of Fort Irwin. I want to just, where are you? Where would you be in this big crowd? Thank you very much. What an honor. What an honor.
Yeah, why
You
are you
look great
even
too, by the
watching?
way.
If you don't,
You really look great.
support
Thank you very
Trump,
much.
that's because they
What a great family.
they secretly do
You
support
carry in your
Trump.
veins the love and devotion of a martyr for American liberty. And please stand.
And the
Just-
mainstream media
just
got y'all
put that
so
hand out once
obsessed
more
with
for the
Trump.
people, because they will. Thank you very
That's
much.
all
You're
they
looking
do.
good. Looking good.
Been for
Good
years
genes.
now. That's
Good
why
genetics.
when Kamala was
Thank
running,
you
she
both.
was acting like Trump was president for
Thank you
the
very
last
much.
4 years.
The life of a soldier is not
You hear me?
just a job, it's a calling and a sacred tradition passed down from
That's
father
what
to
they
son,
act like.
brother
Yeah.
to sister,
Yeah, they got
and
that.
one generation
It's
to the
amazing
next.
how
And every hour,
brainwashed
Granger,
people
our
can be.
noblest citizens have answered that call, kiss their loved ones goodbye, and run to the sound of guns. You run to the sound of guns, you run right into them, you're gonna win. when the British tried to reconquer our young nation in 1812. 1,000 Americans at Fort McHenry fought off a British invasion fleet, 5,000 strong. They say it was unstoppable. Lieutenant Francis Scott Key, you all heard the name, watched from Baltimore Harbor as the Army kept Old Glory flying high. Many people died. Deeply inspired, he wrote a poem in tribute to Army courage and American pride, known today as the Star-Spangled Banner, or our national anthem. Great. 8 generations later, we're joined by a descendant of Francis Scott Key, who has spent 2 decades in uniform, Major Kyle Key of Army National Guard fame. Please, Major, where are you? Thank you. Thank you. Looking good too. What's going on here? These guys they all come from a very fine strain of blood. That's great, genetics is right. Thank you both very much. Major Key, thank you for helping to keep this incredible land of ours free and the home of the brave, and that's what it was. Through the decades that followed, the Army conquered the great frontier, won the war that restored our nation and broke forever the chains of slavery. A generation later, the Army's Rough Riders stormed up San Juan Hill with Colonel Theodore Roosevelt and swept the last foreign empire from the American hemisphere, forever swept. In World War I, our doughboys fought bravely in the Valley of the Marne and in the Argonne. There in 1918, a devout Tennessee Christian named Alvin York, you know that name, charged across an open field towards the German machine guns. They were firing at levels at that time that nobody had ever seen before. They were knocking down everything in their way, including giant trees were coming down. The enemy mowed down more than half of his platoon almost immediately. The platoon was going down like nobody's ever thought possible. But York pressed on into the jaws of death. He slayed German after German and returned with 132 prisoners from behind the enemy lines. And he had the option of killing them, and he didn't want to do that. And that's okay, isn't it, right? It's okay. But he brought 132 back. And his actions and the actions of that great day, a crazy but great day, Sergeant York earned the Congressional Medal of Honor and became one of the most famed and decorated heroes of the First World War. Very famous, actually, because of the movie that was made. And we're joined today by Sergeant York's grandson, Army Colonel Gerald York.
Wow.
Wish you could wear comfy, cozy slippers everywhere? You can with new hands-free Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins. Sneakers as soft and comfortable as slippers. Just step in with no bending down. Then the contour foam shapes your foot for comfort and support. Try new...
Gerald was told by the command sergeant major of Fort Bragg that it was about time he joined the Army. And he volunteered for combat in Vietnam and gave the Army 31 of his best years. No, I think your best years are right now. You look very good. Your best years are right now. Keep it going. But Colonel York, we salute you. We salute your family and the fame and the bravery of your family. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. And in World War II, the Army once again came to the free world's rescue. Among the millions and millions who volunteered was Henry Armstrong. He enlisted 6 months before his high school graduation and did basic training right here at Fort Bragg. By the next year, he was in Normandy. He fought his way across France as part of Patton's Third Army, crossed the Rhine into the heart of Germany, and helped liberate a Nazi concentration camp. He was a brave person. Command Sergeant Major Henry Armstrong is here with us today. He's 100 years old, a veteran of numerous World War II battles, and 41 years in the Army.
Wow.
Thank you, wow. These are great, amazing people. Thank you very much. Great, thank you very much. He's joined by his grandson, Army Major Dennis Armstrong. Dennis, I assume that's you, right? Thank you, Dennis. And Dennis's wife, Captain Shelley Armstrong.
Wow,
They
the whole
love-
military
They
family.
love the military.
Yeah,
They love our
wife
country.
is a
Thank
captain.
you very much, Shelley. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Wow.
And their son, Tanner. Where's Tanner? Let me see. Oh, he looks good too. They all look good. Tanner might look the best, actually. Thank you very much. Who's an active duty staff sergeant in the 82nd Airborne right here in Fort Bragg. He could right now run for office, I think. He's very popular. In Korea, our warriors held the front line in the battle against communism and liberated millions and millions into the light of freedom. To Vietnam, we sent some of the toughest men who ever wore army boots and olive drab. One of them was Joe Marm of Pennsylvania. He was 23 years old when his platoon was ordered to rescue soldiers surrounded by the enemy in the Battle of Ia Drang. Lieutenant Marm charged into heavy fire, killing 4 enemy soldiers in the brush before sprinting across 40 yards of open field. His teammates could not believe he was doing it, actually, they said. He then tossed a grenade that killed 8 Viet Cong gunners, plunged into the trenches and killed still more before being shot in the jaw, badly in the jaw. He successfully cleared the way for his men to save their stranded comrades and, frankly, for his men to save their own lives. He was unbelievable. For his exceptional bravery, Lieutenant Marm received the Congressional Medal of Honor and retired as an Army colonel after 30 years of service.
Wow.
Colonel Marm
Thank you.
is here today with his 2 sons, Will and Walter, both Army Rangers. What a
Wow.
great family legacy. Please stand up.
Beautiful.
How's your jaw feeling? All right? The jaw? It's all right? Looks pretty good. I wish mine looked that good. It's very good. Thank you very much. Great family. Appreciate it. Real heroes. In the modern era, our soldiers have charged into the darkest caves and ventured into the most God-forsaken places to vanquish the forces of radical Islamic terror from the face of the earth. In 2007, Chief Warrant Officer Eric Phillips was stationed at a remote outpost in the Afghan mountains when a massive Taliban force attacked from all sides. He thought he was finished. For 3 hours, he led a hellacious counter-assault to successfully repulse the enemy in close combat. In the same deployment, Eric again repelled an attack by a vastly larger enemy force, saving countless lives. For his spectacular gallantry, Chief Phillips earned the Distinguished Service Cross and the Silver Star, becoming among the most highly decorated warriors of any branch in the war on terror. Actually, he is the most decorated, and it's not even that close. Many, many battles, many, many medals. And he's with us today, Chief Phillips. You did us all proud. Please stand up, Chief Phillips. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. You are Army strong. Thank you very much, Chief. From the American Revolution until today, the story of the Army is the tale of an unbroken chain of American patriots who gave all they had for this country. It is the saga of epic men like Washington and Jackson, Grant and Custer, Pershing and Eisenhower, Patton and MacArthur, Wild Bill Donovan, and the great General William Yarborough, father of the Green Berets. You know that, the Green Berets? You know that? William Yarborough. It's the story of fabled units like the Old Guard, the Iron Brigade, the Big Red One, the Buffalo Soldiers, the Harlem Hellfighters, the Tuskegee Airmen, the Screaming Eagles, and George Patton's Hell on Wheels. They called it Hell on Wheels. When he was after you, it was not good. The weapons of war have changed with every generation, but the unflinching loyalty of the American soldier has always remained the same. The Army has always stayed true to its motto, this we'll defend. You know that, this we'll defend. Army warriors who have laid down their lives for America rest by the thousands in the sacred soil of Arlington and Gettysburg, Anzio and Manila, and to far-off places known only to God. We owe everything to them. Today we renew our devotion to the cause of liberty for which they so selflessly lived and fought and so bravely died. There could be no greater tribute to their memory than to prepare the Army to dominate America's enemies for the next 250 years and more than that. That's why under the Trump administration, we're focused on restoring the spirit of the U.S. Armed Forces. No soldier ever volunteered for the Army to be lectured about transgender diversity or inclusion.
That's right.
You don't want to hear that. Transgender for everybody. We don't do that. America's patriots joined the Army to kick down doors, storm beaches, kill terrorists, and win America's wars. That's what we want. And that's what you want. And to that end, we're making that record investment, but not only in the Army, in the other forces also, because you work together as a team. And we're including in that and across the board. Now, you don't have to take this if you don't want. You could be great patriots. Say, I don't want to raise. I will not accept it. Let it go back into our country. Let's give it to Gavin Newsom so he can waste it in Los Angeles. No, we don't want to do that, but we're giving you across the board raise for every single service member in the U.S. Armed Forces. We're giving you across the board, and you deserve it.
Thank you, Trump.
You know, we spend so much money on things that we shouldn't be spending it on. But I think those days are stopping, Mr. Senators and Congressmen that are with us. As part of our one big beautiful bill, we are also investing over $1 billion to update your on-base housing. And we're building a state-of-the-art missile defense shield to protect our homeland. And it's called the Golden Dome. It's going to be all made in America.
They here today. You're right.
We've done it for others. We're now doing it. About time, right? We're doing it for ourselves. After years of recruiting shortfalls, this is, to me, maybe the most exciting thing. We're setting the strongest peacetime recruiting records ever. Just think of this. 6 months ago, we couldn't recruit anybody to join the military. Nobody wanted to join. It was 6 months ago. And then we had the election of November 5th. And now we have the strongest recruiting numbers in the history of our country. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? We've already surpassed our recruiting targets for 2025, and we're not done yet. And I'll tell you, it doesn't make you feel good when you had to hear 6, 7 months ago that nobody wants to join the Army, they don't want to join our military. Frankly, they didn't want to join our police, our firemen. They lost confidence, they lost faith in our country. And just a short number of months later, we're setting all-time records. In fact, your job might be in jeopardy. Somebody else may come in and take it. That was bad. We'll get you out of here. You have to be good. We're getting the best people that you've ever seen. We're getting people that I don't think we've ever seen anything like it. Great people are coming in. Doesn't it make you feel good, though? You have something and you're doing something and other people want to join you. Isn't that a great feeling? And wasn't it a lousy feeling just a short time ago when they announced, you know, you're a soldier and you're proud of your country and you're proud of the Army in your case, and you're reading stories about nobody wants to come in and join the military, right? Isn't that lousy? Even the ladies from North Carolina were not happy with that. But then we had a great election. It was amazing. Too big to rig. We had a great election, and all of a sudden, the people are pouring in, and we have incredible people like Pete and the others that are here, Dan. I think they made a big difference. I really do. So thank you very much. All of you guys, I think you've really made a big difference. The Army will soon be stronger, bigger, and better than ever before. And every new soldier that joins our ranks will kindle the same fighting spirit exemplified by the likes of Sergeant Major Jim Schmidt, who's no longer with us. At 15 years old, after lying about his age, because he wanted to get in so badly, Jim trained at Fort Bragg to fight in World War II. When Jim's middle school wrote to ask if he would attend his 8th grade graduation, he wrote back, "That will be impossible, as I'm rather busy now. I'm in the hinterlands hunting down Germans," and I have to say this, and Italians. I know there are a couple of Germans and Italians here. As a paratrooper, he made the famous drops at Sicily and Salerno while still a young boy, too young to be in. The Army kicked him out. They found out about it. They kicked him out. They discovered he was way underage. They said, "Jim, you got to get out of here. You're a hell of a soldier, but you got to get out." But that didn't stop Jim. He enlisted in the Navy.
Wow.
But the moment he turned 18, he came right back and he joined the 82nd Airborne. How about that? He went on to fight at the Chosun Reservoir in Korea, rough place. Saw combat in Vietnam and ended his career right back at Fort Bragg, having earned 2 Silver Stars, 3 Bronze Stars, and 2 Purple Hearts. With us today is Jim's widow, Peggy, and their beloved grandson, Army Specialist Christian Forbes, who is currently deployed at our southern border, defending our country from an invasion, whether we like it or not. It's an invasion, but I don't know if you've heard, the invasion was 99.9% stopped. Did you hear that?
Wow, they're not going to
Could
tell
even be
you
more,
that.
99.999% stopped. That invasion is stopped, so I think he's in good shape. Specialist Forbes, I want to thank you for defending America. And you've obviously done a good job because that invasion has been stopped, and we appreciate you being here. Thank you, wherever you may be. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Great. We stopped that sucker, didn't we, huh? We stopped it. Thank you very much. Each and every one of you here today carries in your souls the love, strength, and courage of millions upon millions of Army patriots who came before you. Your uniforms bear the same stars and stripes that our ancestors carried to victory at Yorktown, across the Great Plains, and over our Rockies, up the Missionary Ridge, down through the streets of Paris. That's right, we went down the streets of Paris. We've got to help our allies, don't we? Across the sands of North Africa and onto the shores of Omaha Beach, into the blood-soaked hills of Korea. And it was a West Point graduate named Buzz Aldrin who first planted our great American flag on the face of the moon. We know that. Now it's your turn to carry that flag forward and to add your own daring deeds into this chronicle of triumph and legends. Now it's your duty to shield the flame of freedom that was first lit 250 years ago by the heroes of Concord Bridge and Bunker Hill. Standing before you today, I am more confident than ever that in the days ahead and every generation to come, the U.S. Army will heap glory upon glory upon glory upon us all. You will protect every inch of U.S. soil, and you will defend America to the ends of the earth. Wherever danger is, there the U.S. Army will be. Another beautiful phrase. Whatever peril comes our way, whatever menace threatens our people, you will stand strong, you will be proud, you will charge hard, and you will keep that flame lit, that beautiful, beautiful flame. You're going to keep it lit. You will hold the flag high, and you will do something that's become quite a famous little phrase also, but you're a hell of a lot braver than me. You will fight, 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 and you will win, win, win. Thank you. God bless you. God bless our soldiers, and God bless the U.S. Army. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
God bless America. Wow. Trump is amazing president. I mean, he's like everywhere, and he acknowledges everyone. He's always working, and he's busy. I mean, sometimes he's doing 2 or 3 events in one day, flying across the country, flying across the waters. And I like the fact, I like the fact, he's doing his dance. I like that he's a president that works. He's actually a president that's getting the job done. There's so many things that he's done that's unprecedented that you haven't seen any president accomplish with 2 terms. So we are grateful. Look at the soldiers doing the dance. You know, it's amazing that the military, they're up, you know, as far as enlistment, and it's a beautiful thing. And it's a wonderful thing. I know the parade is going to be historic. It's going to be amazing. And to honor our men, our servicemen, for all that they've done, like the Army, like this is their 250th birthday. And I'm looking forward to the parade. It's going to be Saturday. We're probably going to come on at 3 o'clock, you know, prior to the parade. I believe it's going to start at around 4. But we'll probably come on around 3:30. But this is amazing. I mean, if we didn't have him for president, the alternative was Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, Tampon Tim. And we would have been done because both of them were incompetent. Both of them were. They were worse than Biden being unfit. To have had another term of incompetent people. The woman couldn't even speak, let alone make deals with the rest of the world. She wouldn't be doing anything. She doesn't know anything about finance and tariffs and talking to. You think the world leaders would have given her a jet escort into their countries? She would have did $1 trillion deal, wheeling deal, that she would have met with all the investors, that she would have, you know, done half of the stuff that Trump has accomplished? I don't think so. She wouldn't even go on Fox News. They had to beg her to get her on there, and it had to be scripted. ABC had to doc up her interview, and before they even air it to the public. When they did the the debates, it was like 3 against 1. That Trump had to go against everybody on the panel. I mean, it's just amazing. You know, mainstream media, there are people that stay on there, which I was an advocate listener. That's all I did was mainstream media.
Look at this dude.
This
dude said, "I love brainwashed Fox News." Look at that. Means you're brainwashed to even say that.
No, they are. They just
Watch
feel.
CNN, ABC.
Look, I was an advocate news watcher of CNN, ABC, CBS, Meet the Press, Rachel Maddow, Morning Joe, you name it. I was watching all of them. And I thought that they were telling the truth, and they were like building up while they did nothing for America. They suppressed all the news that they should have been reporting. They did a disservice to the American people, not reporting both sides. Both sides. And Trump wasn't even president of the United States. And they were reporting as though he was the one making all of the decisions. And people are still that, it's just amazing. I just hope that Black people get it together before Jesus come back. And I'm going to take all my effort and everything to make sure that I do everything I can, from rallies to advocating to activism or whatever the case may be, to make sure that 2028, that Black people are more informed and are looking at policy, not the identity politics, because we've given the Democratic Party 60 years of voting for a party that hasn't done anything for us, don't talk about doing anything for us. That could have been our reparations, what they gave to the illegal immigrants. They gave it to them because they needed another voting block. They have the Black vote, you know, they got locked down. Black vote is locked down. They don't even have to make promises to Black people. And so they said to retain power, we bring these people in for the purpose of voting and legalizing them. It wasn't about farms. It wasn't about we needed them. It was about votes. So I'm going to make sure that we get off that plantation and keep listening to lies and all the fake promises, and they've been in charge. Why isn't it any better for black people when the Democrats have been in power for 12 of the last 16 years?
Oh, thanks. They say you guys are awesome.
You know, thank you so much. It's like, when do we wake up? They said it's insanity if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. That's called insanity. We're doing the same thing and getting nothing, no more progress. Why haven't the Democrats did an anti-hate crime bill for black people? They've been in power, but they were more interested of changing the party into a party of LGBTQ. That was Obama.
Joe said it's uneducated blacks. Honestly, they promise you stuff, and you guys keep taking the bait.
Keep taking the bait. Keep taking it. And this is like the one time that black women should have followed black men.
Sharon, nobody's trying to have a celebration of Trump. He's trying to celebrate the military.
Well, that's deflection. That's what they do, because when you change words and you try to make it into something else, because there's no talking points. The facts is that we are going to have a military parade. We are going to have it. That's a fact. Fact check that. We're going to have a military parade, and we're going to honor our men and women that have fought for this country and have died for this country and who are actively serving this country.
Let's check the poll.
That's what we're going to do.
Wow, 49% said yes and 51% said no.
Read the question.
Oh, do you support the Trump U.S. Army 250th birthday parade?
And more people said no.
Yeah, 51% said no.
And see, they're un-American. Like, but if they said, let's send money to Ukraine, let's send 50 more billion to Ukraine. They'd be like, oh yeah, let's send the money.
No, if it was...
or let's give more money to illegal immigrants. Oh yeah, pass that bill.
The poll was, do you agree with Day of Visibility that Joe Biden did? They all said yes. On Easter, on the day of resurrection.
Yeah, so it's just something wrong. Like, is the people that flock to this poll and to this stream are against America. I mean, something like all the countries do it, except for the United States of America.
And I'm going to say something that you haven't heard before, but Donald Trump has been the only president that's been for black people. He's saying he's trying to erase our history.
He can't do that. He can't, no matter how hard he would try to erase our history, he can't do it.
He's not going to do that.
Because we're here.
He's trying to get under our skin.
No, but we're here. We're here. We're here, and everybody knows the truth. You can't remove the truth. The truth is always going to manifest. Everybody knows what black Americans have been through in this country. You can't erase that. You can't erase white history. You can't erase Asian history. These things can't be erased because we're here to say what happens. And there are books. He can't get rid of all the books. He can't get rid of all of the accomplishments because it's here. Because it's here.
What?
No one can do that.
Joe Biden tried.
No one. He tried to lock up black people. That's our history. He tried to remove us. That's history. But what has happened to black people in this country has already been documented and is known all throughout the world.
They said these people have seen the light on this channel.
What?
They said these people have seen the light on this channel.
Yeah.
We're not brainwashed.
But we're not
going...
going...
I never was brainwashed.
We're not going for the okie doke. We're standing on business, and, we're going to call it like we see it. But the other way wasn't working. So why are you going to continue doing the same thing? And we'll look at the Democratic Party. Who's the leader? Who's the leader of the Democratic Party? Who's the leader?
Jalen is brainwashed.
Who's the leader of the Democratic Party?
Jocelyn, look up the 1994 crime bill that your buddy Joe Biden did.
Yeah, why keep doing something that doesn't work? Jeffries, question mark. He's not the leader. Obama or his boss.
Miss Booski said, Jocelyn, I'm a CPA. I know how taxes work.
Okay. Obama and Hillary. See, people don't even know who the leader is.
AOC,
Nobody knows.
Bernie.
Bernie, AOC, what happened to her? Her and Bernie was doing their little tour, flying on private jets. And it's funny how the Democrats talk about the rich and the filthy rich. You know who are the rich? The Democrats are the party of the rich and the famous. The people that support them are Hollywood and all the billionaires. It's the freaking Democrat Party. That's who are the rich. That's the party of the rich. They try to put it on the Republicans, but last I looked, the Democratic Party has from Mark Zuckerberg to Bill Gates to Mark Cuban, Beyonce, Jay-Z, all the stars, all those multimillionaires, all the athletes, the basketball players, all of them. That's all the Democrats. The Republicans don't have that. They're the party of the wealthy. It's the Democratic Party. There's no leader. What's the Democrat plan for Americans? What's their plan for Americans? Because I've been trying to figure what's the plan. Because I don't hear them talking about it.
Mr. Busky said AOC's net worth is $26 million.
And how did she get a net worth of $26 million with a $172,000 salary? How are all of them? Even Jasmine Crockett, I think her net worth is like $13 million or whatever. How are all the Democratic Congress people multi-millionaires when their salaries is like $172,000, under $200,000? But miraculously, they're all multi-millionaires. Pelosi, I think her net worth is in the hundreds of millions. Hundreds of millions. How is that possible? How is that possible? That's the part. They got everybody so brainwashed.
That's the
that
part.
They're the ones, they're wolves in sheep's clothing. What you do is you keep saying enough about the other people. Look at Hollywood. Look at mainstream media. That's all the left. And that's why we're being fed all this information, all the wealth. They control the media. The left controls the media. There's only one channel that I ran from, which was Fox News. Because they're the channel of the enemy.
JB net worth is $3.5 billion.
Who?
JB.
Who's that?
Dan Goldman is $253 million. They said
Are these Congress people?
Yes. They said the wealthiest Democrat politician is Michael Bloomberg with a net worth of $104 billion.
Well, Michael Bloomberg net worth is what?
$104 billion.
$104 billion.
$700 million.
That's 700 million. That's the Democrats. Look up the Democrat leaders and the party who support them, because they keep saying Trump is a billionaire. Trump doesn't have nowhere near the amount of money of that party. That's why they were able to raise $1.5 billion in 3 months.
And a representative.
3 months.
A representative, Dan Goldman, has a net worth of $253 million, and he was the guy who served as the lead counsel during the first impeachment of former President Trump. Now.
Yeah, look up their net worths.
Yeah.
They really have us brainwashed. All of them, hundreds of millions of dollars, billionaires.
Billions,
hundreds of billions. It's them. They talk about Trump. They didn't want Trump to be the win because they couldn't control Trump because of him being a billionaire. But he doesn't even have money like them. We talking about Bloomberg, hundreds of billions of dollars. Is his net worth? Mark Cuban, Zuckerberg. Who's the guy from Amazon? All of these people. Oprah. All of these people. And then all the Democratic Congress people are multi-millionaires. And they have the mainstream media, all the television, all the news networks. They support the left. They control the left. The left is, they're putting out the propaganda. That's what's been going on. And when I hope to God that Black people start waking up and expand the channels and networks we listen to. You need to listen to Fox News along with your CNN and MSNBC and ABC and all these others. But there are phenomenal content creators that have boots on the ground that are bringing the news, like Cash Jordan, Nick Shirley. It's a lot of people that are out here that are bringing the news and that aren't biased. The news media was biased. 93% reporting about Trump was negative, and he wasn't even president. And he had a successful 4 years as president when he was in office.
And a notable wealthy individual that gave to Kamala Harris. First, he gave $10 million. He contributed that. And then later on, he gave her $38 million.
Who?
His name is Dustin.
To whom?
The Democratic Party.
To Kamala?
To Kamala, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so they're the ones.
How much money did Kamala get? She got like freaking...
1.5. Who could raise 1.5 billion in 3 months and go in debt for 22 million? Trump's whole campaign was $382 million. He ran against 2 people. And his only real donor was Elon. That was it. And he gave hundreds of millions, but they got billions. Billions of dollars. We need to really look at these things. Okay, CBN tells the true Christian news stations. Yeah, you need to do that. And as a Christian, I would never, ever again vote for the Democrats. I will never do that again because it's not the same party of yesteryear. The party changed to the LGBTQ party with Obama. Same-sex marriages, men and women sports, boys and women bathrooms. All everything that's going against the word of God. Then it became the party of transgenders. You know, that goes, and abortion. All that goes against what I believe in. God is not in that. That wasn't a party. Used to be the party supposedly for the people. That they were fighting for everyday Americans. They were fighting to make, things more accessible to all Americans. They were supposed to be the party that took care of the middle class and the poor and the upper middle class or whatever. That's not the party. No. The party is the party of illegal immigrants, transgenders, and LGBTQ.
Yeah. Now Jalen is saying that's up to interpretation.
They're not the party of Americans. And I will not follow that at all because God is not in it. So I would never vote for that party. You pray for the people, but you don't go along with the okie doke. I'm not going to call a man a woman a man, and a party that all of a sudden after 2,000 years cannot define what a woman is.
Look, what are you talking about?
They can't define what a woman is. That gave birth to them. The only person that gave birth is a woman.
They call them birth.
But now all of a sudden they can't define a woman after God did in the beginning when he made this world, the heaven and earth, that he made man, and he told them in Genesis 1:26 to be fruitful and multiply. He made woman for Adam.
Now Jocelyn said, y'all talking about who funded who, but how about some policies?
That's what we're saying. The Democrats don't have any policies, right? And that's what I want to get Black people on board with. Look at policies. Look at what they're going to do. What are they going to do for us? Well, you need to earn our votes. Don't vote just because somebody's a Democrat. And they have had an opportunity for 60 years to make a difference in my community. And they haven't. So why are we freely giving our votes with fake promises? With Biden, I supported him, campaigned for him, gave welcome him to the city, gave him a gift, did selfies, the whole 9 yards. I've been in this company many a times, but I really believe when I was canvassing, having my crew to do phone banking and doing speeches and having rallies, that he was going to give us an anti-hate crime bill. It didn't happen.
She looks like a woman of color too.
It didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Name one good policy, One good Trump policy. How about getting men out of women's sports?
What about the First Step Act to get Black people out of freaking prison that Biden put them in?
What about funding HBCUs?
What about that he's increasing all funding in HBCUs, because when we do well, United States do well. So he has to make sure all of us are prosperous.
Good one. What about getting these illegal immigrants out of here?
What about closing the borders? What about bringing inflation down? What about a better economy? What about making these other countries pay their fair share and stop taking advantage of America? How about bringing deals in and jobs in? What other president has done that?
Al Merriman has said the people of the LGBTQIA+ just don't want to live in fear every day.
What do fear has to do with their gender? They made it their campaign Democrats. They made it a campaign. They're the only people that get. Why don't we have a Veterans Month? Why is it a Veterans Day?
Yeah.
You know, we have Pride Month, something that goes completely against the Word of God. They have their parades and they can parade naked. They're naked. They
Kids be there.
Kids are there. It's so ungodly. They want to be in the schools with your children. These drag queens supposed to read them books to influence the minds of our youth, of our young people. They want to live in abomination that goes against the word of God, and then they want us all to agree. They want us to be in bubble land and call a man a woman and a woman a man. It's not going to happen because they're not creators. There's no doctor that can change their gender, but they most definitely can mutilate them with money. You give them the Benjamins, they'll chop it off and sew it up.
God made them, but he says in the Bible in Leviticus 18:22 that it's an abomination. He made Adam and Eve.
He made humans. He didn't make them
to be
gay.
He says to be fruitful and multiply, not to be with the same gender where you can't be fruitful and multiply.
Well, they know that it doesn't go together. They don't have parts to be with the same sex.
I shouldn't have to explain this to someone.
We already know that it don't go together. We know that it's wrong.
It's like apples.
We know that it's wrong. But if you, whatever lifestyle you want to live, don't make us have to go along with it. That's what woke was. You want to force it on us. Oh, you got to do pronouns. You got to say that's a woman. Here the man with a full beard because he carrying a handbag and he's 6'5" does not make him a woman. And a woman that wants to be a man, she could have her boobs removed, but that don't make her a man. She's still, her DNA will always say that's a female, and his DNA will always say that it's a man. So they could live in their delusion, but don't include the rest of us to go along with it. You know, you pray for them because salvation is available for them, because what people are doing, not telling them the truth is a disservice to them. You got pastors that go along with it instead of love. You show love by being honest and telling the truth that there's a life after this. There is a heaven and a hell. There is a lake of fire is real. You don't want them to wind up because of a sexual preference or because their mind. Just about all these transgenders have had these sex mutilations regret it. They regret it. They regret it. And it's too late. They regret it because it's being done while they're young, while they're still learning whom they are, and it's being pushed down their throats that they don't even, they're being taught, you don't have to be a boy if you're born a boy. Oh, you don't have to be a girl if you're born a girl. Oh, this doctor can change that. They can't play God. No one can.
And it's too late when you're not here anymore. Then you're without God for forever.
Yeah, once you go and you leave this earth, there's no like, oh God, now I believe. You have to believe while you're on this side, above ground. You have to give your life to Christ and accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and He died for your sins. And is anyone in your family like that, or children? You have parents that say, oh, I'm going to accept Timothy the way he is to show love. That's not showing Timothy love. You show Timothy love by praying for him. That's when you roll up your sleeves, because that's spiritual warfare, and you claim your child back. You claim his salvation. You don't allow the enemy just to take your child with a delusion. Because every time he try to lay with a man, they got to feel nasty. Got to feel like this. You know it's not right. It's not right. It's not right. And you know it.
That's why some of them try to pretend to be females.
And now they got to the
act like females when they're in like a so-called relationship. They try to act like they're the female of the relationship.
That's what transgenders are men.
Yeah.
But they don't want you. They want straight men not to look at them as men. They want straight men to look at them like they're a woman. No, you're a gay man that want a straight man, and society accept you as a woman. But you don't want to accept what you are, but you want us to accept you what you are not. You will never be a woman, and a woman will never be a man.
And they always be like 6'5".
They always 6'5", 6'6", walking around. Or they in women's sports, and they this one guy, he beat the best woman in that sport. I think was the cyclist. He had beaten her by 5 hours. Dang. The best woman cyclist.
Dang.
Okay, they're crushing women. And they get up there and they're these big bruising guys that are at least 6'5", because they can't compete in their own sport. But they know they can beat the women because their bone mass is bigger. Their bone density is bigger. Their lung capacity is greater.
Their strength is
Their
better.
strength is better.
Their
And
speed is greater.
yeah, and then they get up there. Oh, I never lived before. I don't know how I did it, but I'm so thankful. They with the fake voice, all of it. It's like they have a mask on. It's a masquerade. They masquerading as women, and they're not. But you pray for them. You pray for them because they're wonderful people. They're loving people. You know, nobody's saying that they're not phenomenal people, but you don't give up on them. You pray for them. You have to pray for people that they're the truth set them free. Cindy has more intelligence in her pinky than you have in your whole brain. Yeah, word up. You know, you have to pray for those that you care about. If you have children, anyone like that, you pray for them. Don't just give them over to that lifestyle. That spirits are real. That's a lust spirit. That's a demonic spirit from the gates of hell. You don't give that person over to that. You have to pray for the ones that you care about and love on them. Going along, and you don't have to go along with the nonsense. I'm not going to let nobody take me to bubble land. I'm never going to say, oh, excuse me, miss, and you got a beard or mustache and a handbag. It's not going to happen. And if I see you in a restroom, I'm most definitely going to have a problem with it because you're a dude.
I call the police.
You're a dude. And I'm most definitely going to be saying something. You're a dude. And especially if there's child is in there, a little girl or something. You know, so all that masquerading and all that delusion, those days are done. We're over it. We're over it. However you want to live your life, that's your right. That's your God-given right. But don't try to convince the rest of us that we're supposed to go along with it. Because we're not. We're not going along with the nonsense. And we're going to pray for you. You know, because you would hate to see people leave this earth and then find out the hard way. Because God said that every mouth should confess and every knee shall bow. That Jesus Christ is Lord and he was raised from the dead. So you're going to find out because all of us has to stand before God, each and every one of us. None of us is going to skip that line and we're going to give an account for our lives. And some things we have done that nobody knows that God knows. And God is the ultimate judge. He's the ultimate judge. But you want to make sure that our job, even as Christians, is supposed to spread the word. Like 28:19. You're supposed to spread the word to all man has heard, that everyone has heard. In this platform, we're including spreading the word of God that all have heard. Because once everybody has heard, that's when Jesus is coming back.
You can tell about the Let's Pray About It channel.
Yeah, and I'm starting another channel. I haven't been working on it yet. It's called Let's Pray About It. So that's going to be my other channel that I'm working on that I haven't been doing, but I had to find the time because Speak to 2.0 is taking up a lot of my time. But Let's Pray About It is my other channel. Y'all can go ahead and subscribe over there.
What are you going to be doing on that channel?
Well, on Let's Pray About It, what I'm going to do, I'm probably going to feature even the pastor that I follow, Pastor Anthony Philip Mitchell. He is literally preaching out of the Bible, the Word of God. Phenomenal preacher out of Atlanta. He is amazing. But we're going to want to have call-ins and stuff that people can actually come on the show and I can actually talk with them. We can actually pray about situations. Because a lot of times people rather take medication because they got anxiety, depression, all that. And God is always the last resort. So, just be talking about God, having scriptures or whatever that we're going to do. Have I'm still putting it together. I wrote some things down that I think that I want to do on the channel, but it's a work in progress. But let's pray about it. Y'all can subscribe because I most definitely want to get that going because we got to spread the word of God. And a lot of times people think when you're telling the truth, you're being hateful, you're being mean. They start deflecting I'm upset. The enemy hates when you start talking about the word of God and people are getting delivered. So you can expect the pushback.
And looking at the world nowadays, like
Yeah.
even with Kamala kicking Christians out of her rally and having an abortion clinic at her.
At the DNC, the Democratic National Conference. I mean, they ran on eliminating, deleting children, and they're going to have that at the rally. That was so crazy, and people cheering that on. That was sick.
Yeah.
That's not women's right. Women have a right to be able to take care of their children. Women have a right to not have men in the ladies' bathrooms. Women have rights not to have men in women's sports. There's a lot of other rights that women have. What you do with your body, you can always use a condom. There's birth control. There's all methods you can let your child be adopted, and you're going to regret it. You know, it's like you're taking a life. A lot of times we don't look at it as life because the child hasn't been born. But now we live in a day and time, you have a lot of help, a lot of resources, and there's people out there that can help you, because there's people out here that can't even have children that would love to have a child that they can raise and take care of and call their own. So anyway, you guys, don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe. We're probably going to put something else up because I really want to do clips of my video I did yesterday, even though it was titled about the investments. I had spoken a lot about what was going on in Los Angeles, and from a Black person's perspective, how we're viewing and how we're watching it. And it's a lot of Black Americans that are now, we had enough with the Democratic Party. We've had enough. They've had the opportunity to do all the things that we've been requesting. They have done nothing for us but continue locking us up, making laws that work against us. And we've had enough. So a lot of us are being enlightened, and we're for Trump. And, I think that when it's all said and done, when these tariffs and things start working, even if you saw it yesterday, Trump is looking at our children's future, that all of them are going to get $1,000 to start that's going to be invested for them. And as they give into that funding, by the time they go to college, the money will be there when they want to get their first house. And if they keep the money in there until they're 50 years old or whatever, they'll be millionaires. So this is what Trump, I mean, he's looking for the future of your children's children. What Democrat is doing that? You got to see the policies and the Black community, what he's looking for the HBCUs, giving more money, focus on technology. I mean, he has a whole plan laid out, because in order for America to do well, we all have to do well. You can't have just one group of people and focus on them, like say white people or just Black people. You have to have all of us do well for America to prosper and for America to do well. And Black people have over $1 trillion spending that we do in this country. So we have a lot of spending power that we need to invest in ourselves too. But so there's a lot that's going on that he's looking for our children's children. Look at the video yesterday, and you'll see that we did on the channel, the investment group. It's amazing. And I was like, wow, what Democrat even talks like that? Oh, they're going to outlaw.
What's up, outlaw?
So we are impressed that he's looking into the future of your children's children. There's been no other president that's setting up account for your children like what he's proposing to do.
I want to hear your thoughts on this. Someone said basic college should be free. What do you think about that?
We can't afford it. We got $36 trillion worth of debt, and we got 14 to 20 million illegal immigrants that are here that are in our they getting free education. They are getting free education off of us, but we gotta come out of this debt. It should be. But America's been giving so much to everywhere else except for our own that that's why he's doing all that he's doing now. Because college is expensive, but people are getting free ride to college that aren't even American citizens. So it's free for some, not for all. Anyway, you guys, thanks, Outlaw. You came on late, but we were ready to jump off of here. We've been on here for the last couple of hours or longer. It might be even 3. But God bless all you guys. Don't forget, subscribe to my other channel. I got to get that started. Let's pray about it. And we'll see what's going on. If we will come back on later on, it depends on what's going on. Thank you, the Mr. Bootsy. You've been amazing. We do appreciate you for all. Now plant seasons on. Everybody's coming on now. Oh wow. Yeah, we've been on for a while because we did Trump spoke, at Fort Bragg. So we did do that, and prior to that coming on, we was having a conversation. So anyway, you guys, we'll see if we come on later on. Thank you. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, all the moderators. We do appreciate you, showing you guys much love. God bless everyone.
God
and
bless you.
we'll see if we'll be back on later. We don't know yet. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
God bless.